U.S. and Atlantic Weather News Report. A rare coastal storm is about to strike, strong winds, heavy rain, and high seas along the East Coast, multiple systems active across the hemisphere. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the U.S. and Atlantic Weather News. Tonight, we're following a truly extraordinary weather setup as atmospheric systems from the Pacific, across North America, and all the way to the Atlantic are moving in unison. A new, highly dynamic and powerful phase of weather is unfolding, perhaps the strongest and most complex pattern since the start of autumn. From the deserts of the Southwest to the Atlantic coastline, from the snowy Rockies to the warm shores of Florida, nearly every corner of the United States is preparing for dramatic changes in rain, wind, and temperature. The headline story tonight: a rare coastal low-pressure system is forming just off the southeastern United States, a system expected to intensify into a powerful nor'easter-type storm that could lash the East Coast from Florida to New England with hurricane-force gusts, torrential rain, and waves up to 12 to 14 feet. Though this storm is not tropical in nature, forecasters warn its impacts will rival those of a full tropical storm, and what's more, it may linger for nearly a week before being pushed out by the next trough. Satellite imagery this evening already shows a broad band of thick, rotating clouds taking shape along the western Atlantic. Cold, dense air from the north is pressing down while warm, moist air from the ocean is surging inland, the perfect recipe for a hybrid, slow-moving coastal storm. Model guidance from the GFS, ECMWF, and ICON agree that by Friday through Sunday, the low will strengthen, drift northward along the coast, and then stall under a blocking ridge, keeping it in place for 5 to 6 days. Winds will pick up sharply beginning Friday night. Gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour are expected along much of the coastline, with offshore winds possibly reaching 70 to 80 miles per hour, and isolated gusts near 90 miles per hour, similar to a Category 1 hurricane. The exact track of the low remains uncertain, if it hugs the coast. Heavy rain and damaging winds will push well inland across Virginia, Maryland, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and parts of New England. If it stays offshore, the greatest threat will be coastal erosion, flooding, and battering surf from the Carolinas to Maine. Compounding the problem will be autumn's king tide, which peaks this weekend. As the storm churns off the coast, strong onshore winds will drive water levels sharply higher, leading to coastal flooding and dune erosion, especially in the Outer Banks, Virginia Beach, Delaware, and New Jersey. Wave models suggest seas reaching 8 to 10 feet by Friday, rising to 12 to 14 feet by Sunday, with dangerous rip currents extending all the way north into New England. This will be a multi-day coastal flood and surf event, a true early-season nor'easter, lasting into next week. Rainfall will also be a major hazard. Forecast totals range from 4 to 7 inches, locally over 10 inches along the mid-Atlantic coast, especially in North Carolina, Virginia, and Maryland. Urban drainage systems will likely be overwhelmed, leading to flash flooding and power outages as strong winds down trees and power lines. Utility crews are on alert, and residents are urged to charge devices, secure loose items, and prepare backup generators for extended outages. While the East Coast braces for that storm, the Southwest is preparing for the opposite problem: tropical rains flooding the desert. That moisture comes from Hurricane Priscilla in the eastern Pacific, which is now moving toward Baja California. Although Priscilla will weaken before landfall, its massive plume of tropical humidity will surge inland across California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah from Friday through Monday. Rainfall amounts of 2 to 4 inches will be common, with 6 to 8 inches possible in higher terrain, an extraordinary total for this dry region. Even modest rainfall in desert washes can produce sudden, dangerous flash floods. Authorities across Arizona and New Mexico have already issued flash flood watches, urging residents to stay off slot canyons and mountain roads during storms. Out over the Atlantic tropics, Tropical Storm Jerry, the 10th named storm of the season, is now strengthening as it moves west-northwest toward the Leeward Islands. Maximum sustained winds are around 50 miles per hour, 80 kilometers per hour, with gradual intensification expected over the next 48 hours. The National Hurricane Center has issued tropical storm warnings for the leewards and eastern Puerto Rico, where rainfall totals of 2 to 4 inches, 50 to 100 millimeters, and gusts up to 60 miles per hour could bring flooding and landslides. By the weekend, Jerry is projected to curve north and northeast, possibly brushing Bermuda, though confidence in the track remains low. Residents there are advised to monitor updates closely. Meanwhile, meteorologists are also watching a new disturbance brewing in the Western Caribbean, within what's known as the Central American Gyre. Late October is the time of year this region often spawns homegrown tropical systems. If upper-level winds remain favorable, another tropical storm, potentially named Karen, could form within the next week or two. Early model runs hint at a path near Jamaica, Cuba, and the Bahamas. But these are still very long-range scenarios. Across the rest of the U.S., temperatures are on a wild roller coaster ride. A surge of cold Canadian air has already dropped morning lows below freezing across parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, bringing the first frost and light ice of the season. However, this chill will be short-lived. By the weekend, a ridge of high pressure will bring a major warm-up, pushing highs back into the 80s and even 90s degree F across the central and southern plains, with Arizona possibly hitting 100 degrees Fahrenheit again. The sharp contrast between the cool east and hot interior will help fuel the jet stream, maintaining this stormy, high-energy pattern well into mid-October. 7-day precipitation maps tell the story clearly. The East Coast, especially the Carolinas through New England, could see 1 to 4 inches of rain. Locally 6 to 8 inches where the coastal low stalls. The Southwest, from Mexico to Utah, will pick up 4 to 8 inches of rainfall from Priscilla's moisture plume. The Caribbean islands under Jerry's path will see 50 to 100 millimeters, 2 to 4 inches, of tropical rain. In short, the United States will face 3 major weather fronts simultaneously. A long-duration coastal storm in the east, flooding tropical rains in the southwest, active hurricanes in the Atlantic Basin. Wind forecasts add to the concern. By Friday evening, northeasterly winds of 25 to 35 miles per hour will strengthen along the east coast. By Sunday, gusts could reach 70 to 80 miles per hour offshore, and even 40 to 50 miles per hour inland across New Jersey, New York, and southern New England, strong enough to topple trees, damage roofs, and knock out power. Officials are urging residents to secure outdoor furniture, vehicles, and boats and to avoid coastal roads during high tide. As the storm pivots near New England, heavy rain and high surf may persist for several days, with waves hammering beaches long after the center of the storm moves away. From the Carolinas to Maine, swimming, boating, or fishing is strongly discouraged from now through next Tuesday. Further west, across the Pacific Northwest and the Rockies, another cold trough is sweeping in, bringing heavy rain, gusty winds, and the first mountain snow of the season to Washington, Oregon, Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado. Winter weather advisories are already in effect for mountain passes where slush and freezing conditions could make travel dangerous. Altogether, the United States is entering a volatile transition period. The East Coast faces a rare, long-lived nor'easter with high winds and flooding. The Southwest braces for flash floods from Priscilla's remnants. The Northwest experiences its first taste of winter. And the Atlantic Basin continues to produce tropical storms like Jerry, with a possible Karen still to come. Now more than ever, preparation and awareness are key. Residents should follow alerts from NOAA and the National Hurricane Center. Keep emergency kits ready with flashlights, batteries, water, food, and medication, and avoid unnecessary travel during storms. If you live along the coast, move boats to safe harbors. If you live near hills or streams, clear drainage ditches and secure rooftops. A little readiness today can save lives in the coming days. And amidst all of this, it's important to remember the human side of every storm. As Scripture reminds us in James chapter 2 verse 8, love your neighbor as yourself. In these challenging days, let us check on the elderly, protect the vulnerable, and lend a helping hand to those in need, because in times of storm, kindness and compassion are the safest shelters we have. Thank you so much for watching the U.S. and Atlantic weather news. Please remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our emergency updates. We'll continue to monitor the coastal storm's progress and the tropical developments across the Atlantic, with full coverage throughout the weekend. Until next time, may peace be with you, and may God watch over you and your families as we weather the days ahead together.